Hi, welcome to Facts About Fat. This is the latest video in the series. I think it's quite an interesting one that you'll enjoy. Keep those likes coming, guys. For every 5 new likes we get on our Facebook site, we'll release another video. And this particular video is on reducing fat intake. Is this a good thing or is this not a good thing in regards to weight loss? So, if I cut out the fat, I'll be less fat, won't I? Makes sense, doesn't it? Cut the fat from the diet, you'll be less fat. It sounds good. Let's see if it is. So many so-called diet and health experts recommend diets of low fat intake. If we just look at a couple of statistics here, 1955, Americans got 40% of their calories from fat, which sounds like quite a few. In 1995, Americans got 35% calories from fat, but percentage of overweight adults has grown from 25% to 40%. So that would indicate it's not just about the fat, and it would also indicate that maybe if you reduce the amount of fat in your diet, you actually more likely to be overweight. Now, we can't from those statistics actually say that's the case, because obviously it depends upon a lot of other things. Exercise or lack of certainly would have been more prevalent in 1995 compared to 1955 for a lot of adults. Obviously, things are even worse now in regards to obesity, but both total fat and saturated fat consumption is reduced over the last 50 years. Obesity has increased over the last 50 years. So what this indicates is that although, again, there's lots of factors to contribute towards obesity, we can at least say that just by reducing fat and even saturated fat, it won't necessarily have an impact. It may not make things worse from those statistics, but it won't necessarily have the impact that maybe we're led to believe. Now, I probably haven't convinced you yet, so let's have a look at some evidence. We'll have a look at some experiments here. The first one I'm going to present was from 1993. And obese patients were put on a strict 1,200 calories per day diet, and that's a very low percentage or low number of calories per day diet. Now, Group A had 45% of fat, and Group B had 26% of their diet as fat. So that's 26% of their diet was actually from fat. Now, normal Western diet is around 35% fat. The results were that there was no difference in weight loss between groups. So that would indicate that it's not just about fat percentage in the diet, it's about a lot of other things as well. Let's have a look at another experiment. In 1996, the method was that there was some healthy normal weight individuals. Group A were on a 40% fat diet, 40% of their daily calories came from fat, and Group B were only on 10% of fat. Now, both groups had normal calorie intake to try and maintain weight. The results were that Group A's body hardly made any fat, whereas Group B's produced a lot more fat. So that would indicate that a very low fat diet will result in your body actually producing more fats in itself. So the situation is that your body needs fat. If you start cutting it all out of your diet, the chances are you're going to have nutrient deficiencies and the body will try and hold on to its fat, which is exactly what you don't want to happen if you're trying to lose body fat or maintain a good weight. Let's have a look at experiment number 3 for 1996. Now, this is based upon fat substitutes. So I'm sure some of you are thinking, well, I've taken the fat out and I've replaced it by fat substitutes. So the method here was there 2 types of meal given. Group A had normal meals with 32% fat, and Group B had a third of their fat replaced with a fat substitute. The results were that volunteers felt hungrier with the fat substitute and consequently consumed more fat after the experiment. So this would indicate that fat substitutes don't actually work. Again, the body needs fat. It plays lots and lots of important roles within the body. It also satisfies our hunger to a certain extent. So if we don't get it, we're likely to overeat other foods maybe. So how is this the case then? What is it about fat? Well, humans have existed for 4 million years, and for approximately 99% of this time were hunters and gatherers, about 99% of the time. So if you think about the last 50 years, how much the diet might have changed, compare that to 4 million years, for 99% of that time, we were hunters and gatherers. So what did our ancestors eat? Well, we ate meat and fish, considerably more than we do today, as a general rule of thumb. Fruit and vegetables, about 3 times more than the average person today. And some seeds and nuts as well. So in actual fact, if we take a look at this, things such as the meat and the fish and the seeds and nuts, they're high in fat. The fruit and vegetables aren't going to be high in fat, but the other products are. So if we were considerably eating more meat and fish, for example, than we are today, we were actually consuming a lot more fat. Our ancestors ate a moderately high fat diet. So if dietary fad was so bad, we wouldn't be alive today. We wouldn't have lived. Everyone would have generated health problems and the population would have died off. Okay, but we're still here, we are here, and it's through that moderately fat diet that we are still here. So hopefully you're a little bit intrigued now. So there's negligible difference between our genes now and those thousands of years ago. So really that would indicate that we probably want to be eating a similar diet to what we were thousands of years ago. Now the principles of evolutionary adaptation suggest that if a dietary pattern is maintained within a lineage for nearly 2 million years, it must be optimal. So in other words, if we have been consuming a similar diet for 99% of 4 million years, which I said earlier, then that diet is probably optimal. If we've already said that that was reasonably high in fat, moderate to high, does this actually mean that a moderately high fat diet is optimal? Interesting. Now, one thing I will say is that not everybody will do well on a high fat diet. Again, it depends upon you as an individual, but for a lot of people, they're trying to cut out dietary fat, and it isn't necessarily the best thing to do. In actual fact, although you might lose some fat, some bodily fat in the short term, in the long term, you are likely to be increasing the amount of fat that your body has and reducing the chance of your body getting rid of that fat. Right, we hope you've enjoyed listening to this one. It's been an interesting one, and please keep those likes coming. For every 5 new likes that we get on our Facebook site, we'll post another video. Hope you've enjoyed it. Please check out our website for more information on our services, our fitness qualifications that we deliver, and the various other products on our website. Thanks very much.